VCR Redux will begin in T-5 minutes.
What the fart is VCR Redux?
It's the show where we take movies from the VCR era and bring them back to today.
How do we do that?
Well, we start by talking about a VHS classic, and usually you'll say something like,
I haven't been this uncomfortable since I watched Meatballs 4, Meatballs to the Rescue with my parents. Oh yeah, or you'll say something stupid like,
I wish we lived in a world where the Garbage Pail Kids made as many movies as the Muppets.
but I know you'll always see it through with a positive attitude.
I hate this movie, I hate being here, I hate all of this. Oh, Jamie Kennedy. Oh, well, shit. Well, let's go for this.
He was in Son of Mask. This is genius.
I am not a gamer. I'd rather read books.
Ian's like the old lady that's like, I got video game monsters, I got toy monsters in here.
As long as we respect the passion and the artistry that went into these films.
You know, obviously they took this movie, it's 93, right? You're like, what do you want to see in your Mario movie? And they're like, oh, we want it to be grim, we want a lot of death, we want tits and ass.
Oh, and then we start the pitch ideas with modern day sequels like
Weekend at Bernie's 3, Cocaine Mountain.
Sometimes we take it kind of seriously.
I'll watch a Paul Verhoeven alien movie.
oh my gosh, that alien will have more vaginas than anything you've ever seen in your life. Sometimes this Hawaiian shirted fool will pitch something stupid like,
I would take out the virtual reality stuff and just have it be about Jeff Fahey mowing the lawn.
Sometimes the best pitches come from the live chat.
Alex Bonafonte also pitches Grand Theft Starfighter Vice Galaxy.
wait, I thought I had the best pitches.
And what happens at the end of the movie? The ultimate fart. The fart that the warmth goes like all the way down to your socks.
The only rules are, there are no rules. Sometimes we cross over franchises.
Only the truck from Tango and Cash can kill Christine.
And sometimes we travel back in time.
Like 1995 is missing a good Universal Soldier sequel.
But you never know what we're gonna pitch next.
What do you want? Do you want Daniel Stern behind like a muzzled mask? Like,
We all know it should be Pesci behind the mask, and like underneath the mask, you should hear him going like fritter, 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 fritter.
you are so proud of yourself for that one. I can't stand you.
I would also love to see a Charles Bronson version of It's a Wonderful Life.
What?
Direct to DVD.
If you made a shot-for-shot remake of Scarface with Goofy as Al Pacino, it would be amazing. Gosh, you need me to be the bad guy.
It's like the worst 1987 Disney movie Disney's ever made. Schlongo, directed by Jim Wynorski.
Like, I would watch a whole bowl of that.
Do the John Holmes story. Add a comedy spin to it.
Wow, the Wonderland murders are so funny.
I'd watch it on my mobile.
Something happens and he goes into a coma. He gets like, hit by a car or something. I know this is dark, but like, bear with me. He's got to go on.
Did you just go like Hard to Kill with Ferris Bueller?
I'd watch it on my iPad.
If you want to just like throw in the kitchen sink, it all works. Like Alien versus Predator versus RoboCop, like that works. Alien versus Predator versus Terminator, that works.
Alien versus Predator versus Ernest, that works.
That works.
I respect everything you just said. I need David Silver and Terry Silver and the Sloan family all learning the Quicksilver, but they're doing it in Breakin' 3 Hydraulic Boogaloo. And it's underwater. It's gonna be incredible. Eat your fucking shit out, James Cameron. I got the underwater movie you can't touch.
That was the most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life.
Mr. Toxie Goes to Washington.
My ass would be in the theater tomorrow.
If Harley Quinn gets 7 movies, then Tank Girl should get at least 70.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
I mean, why should we even bother with Look Who's Talking when Air Bud is soaring to new highs?
All I know is I want Danny McBride.
I'd want him doing anything other than writing Halloween movies, honestly. Anything that keeps him away from that fucking job, I'm for it.
Just let him talk out of his butt. I don't care how he does it.
I'd rather not.
Austin Powers doing the Macarena.
That would be the opening credits. Come on.
But we have not yet had Die Hard on a half pipe. What if John McClane Jr. was a pro skateboarder and also an avid machine gun enthusiast? Skate or Die Hard.
What up, virtual people? Welcome to the 157th episode of VCR Redux. We take your favorite franchises out of the analog era and bring them back to 2024. I'm your host, pop culture punk Chris Stiles, joined as always by my co-host with the most, film professor Ian Klink.
It's Shep.
And we have two radical guests on the show tonight. First up, the third leg of our VCR tripod himself. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. Mac Daddy Mickey Torres is Mick back on the show.
What's up, everyone?
And rounding out this righteous crew, Street Fighter Tournament Edition champion Steven Zangief Anderson is back on the show.
I was frozen today.
That is a dynamite drop in if I've ever heard one. We are here today to dissect the cinematic cross-section of Christopher Lloyd, Shelley Duvall, and space-aged Hulkamania because this world needs Suburban Commando 2, and we're here to give it to you. But before Ian says Hulk's not racist because he made a movie with Doc Brown, we got to dish on how Suburban Commando came into our lives and what we love about it. And of course, that goes double for you at home and everyone watching the live chat. Was it Love at First Laserdisc? Vital VHS? Hit us up in the chat and let us know how Suburban Commando came into your lives. So, Steve, when did you first get Suburban Commando?
Oh my God.
Were you a little Hulkamaniac back in the day?
No, I was not. I never suffered from whatever that was. I was not a Hulkamaniac. I was not a wrestling fan really much at all. And it's hard for me to. I know. Right? I get it. I've been friends with some real wrestling fans too, and that they die hard, love it. But
This guy.
yeah, there you go. And he's hard to want to like. You know, it always kind of has been for me. Like I want to like movies.
Getting harder all the time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, continuously. And I feel safe saying that now.
Liking him in 1987 was okay.
Right.
Yeah,
Today,
totally.
it's hard. I mean,
Sure.
You know what? To be honest,
sure.
I wasn't a Hulkamaniac. I was a Hollywood Hogan fan, but then that was it.
would.
Those are
we
the
we
same
know that
person with different shirts. Is that what that is?
and different colored beard dye.
Okay.
Some people like Urkel, some people like Sven.
Sven.
Ben.
So
What's his name?
Stefan?
Stefan.
That's what I said.
Sven.
Oh my God. Only you would fuck that up that bad. I love you for it though,
Nobody
buddy.
cared in 1998. Nobody cared. Back on.
Nobody cared then. Nobody cares now.
now.
I love it. You grumpy bastard.
So what? It was this and Thunder in Paradise and
a
Oh,
lot,
okay.
Mr.
Well,
Nanny.
I will say,
Mr. Nanny.
Mr.
Big
Nanny.
five.
Yeah.
Listen,
the amazing thing about Hulk Hogan.
This is true. Hulk Hogan is the lima beans of the action family movie of the 90s. Okay, like they tried, and they kept trying.
No.
They
You're not
won't
gonna
give
fucking
up.
pat. No, get the fuck out of here, Teach. You're not gonna pass off that there's anything of value to Hulk Hogan's cinematic efforts, like nearly on the level with like lima beans, the nutritional value of that. There is nothing. Like I love Thunder in Paradise. I'm not trying to shit on like everything
Doesn't
he
love
ever
Thunder in
touched.
Paradise.
I love Thunder in Paradise, but like
No Holds Barred is great.
But like I will say about this movie, somehow this movie is not even in the top 5 most embarrassing things this man's ever put on tape. Like it's maybe not even in the fucking top 10. He's got enough fucking horse shit circling around Hulkamania.
I would go so far as to say that I'll move on with it, that he probably set back wrestlers being able to have a easily accessible entry point into Hollywood and the acting world. Like himself, he probably set that shit back, because what we come to find out now, 20 years later, after we've taken him out of movies, is that most of them that we put in our films today are all very good and surprisingly good. And and the ones that were kind of around him too were actually way better than we gave credit for. But he was just so
fucking famous.
Yeah, famous.
Roddy Piper was probably the best example of that. Roddy Piper was
it's
the best example.
Every other wrestler who acted basically had things and had like tools and abilities and success as an actor that like Hulk Hogan didn't have. No, but I will say, like, wrestling is acting. It's incredible acting for these guys to be able to like off the cuff, just riff like these interview performances. Some of them are incredible in
Right,
these
it's-
ridiculous characters, you know?
It-
Like
it's
I'm the
not-
IRS
promos.
man, so everything is gonna be a pun about how fucking taxes will be like, you know, the bill will be paid, like
Yeah.
final notice from the tax man, you know. Like, come on, man. It's
Well, you can get really good at a one note, one note like
that's
like
fair.
yeah. If they want to give us range, Hulk Hogan.
But can you also do that and also
Give
entertain the
us
crowd,
range.
you know, in the ring? That's the thing. Is that there's an art to that. That's
Sure,
not
you can. I
Well,
mean, I
look,
think-
I've got an even deeper question. Can a wrestler be the star, or should they always be co-starred with?
I don't know. I mean,
well,
the-
I mean, obviously.
Because I love-
You got
'cause
John Cena.
Here's my
Yeah.
example. Has anybody ever seen Abraxas with Jesse Ventura?
I'm familiar with it.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I love Jesse. I
Yeah.
can't believe I haven't seen
Okay,
this.
so there is, if you watch it, and you all know I love bad movies. This is one of those bad movies. It was a sci-fi action movie in the late 80s, I think, or late 80s, early 90s. Either way, it went right to public domain. So I mean, you can get Abraxas anywhere, right?
Oh, really?
People watch that and they go, "Oh, he's terrible," because he's the lead. However, have you met anybody that's ever said they hate Jesse the Body Ventura in Predator?
Of course
No,
not.
I dare you
no.
to name one person that hates him in that movie.
I mean,
Or even in Running Man.
Or in The
Yeah.
Running Man. You don't. You love him as he's a good.
I was killing guys like this with my bare hands
He's
10
great.
years
He's
ago.
great when when you know wrestlers end up being the supporting character. I think it works real well.
Yeah, I know. I agree
Another
with you.
example. Gremlins 2. Who doesn't love?
All right,
when
yeah,
the
I was
Hulk-
7 years old. I mean, here's the thing, man. Like,
Yeah, but
But when
that's
the
a
Hulk
cameo.
shows
when
up,
you're-
That's a
when you're-
cameo.
do you
I've said
think
it
that's
1,000
the greatest thing
you know,
ever?
here's my little PSA for the home audience. I know everyone on the panel's heard it before. I've said it 1,000 times. I'll say it 1,000 more. When you were a little kid growing up in the mid to late 80s, you idolized a whole generation of people that you would later are fucking monstrous human beings like Hulk Hogan, Steven Seagal, Arnold Schwarzenegger,
You
like
know
Van
what, we-
Damme, like stuff like
we
all
didn't-
these fucking guys. Like they turned out to be kind of on the spectrum of scummy. Let's put it that
In
way.
retrospect, though, if we had the foresight, obviously we do now. If you go back and you look, all the clues are there. This wasn't some big, it's pretty. I mean, like,
Yeah, well, you're
Yeah,
fucking
because
nobody
there
thought
if you're
about
not
it,
7 years old, you know.
Yeah. Also, you're not thinking like, oh, well, this guy's different than he's being portrayed on screen. That must be who he really is, and that's why I like
Yeah,
him.
like this guy's just as addicted to showing his bare ass as he is to his cocaine. Like, who's gonna see that at 7? You know,
Right?
come on.
Yeah. Better movie.
Not to shun the history of Van Damage, although Van Damme in a Suburban Commando, you're already maybe doing better by at least like 50%. But we'll get to that. We'll get to the revisionist history as well as our sequel pitches. I do want to know how young Mickey came upon this film. Was this a McDate? Was this a theatrical event?
No, this was like cable or something like that. Like, I mean, like again, I was not a Hogan fan. Like, by the Hulkamania never ran wild for me. I mean, it was always about Macho Man and
Ooh, yeah.
bad guys and stuff like that. Like, I didn't really dig, Hogan. I was always, Bret Hart guy.
A Bret Hart
Always
guy.
wanted-
Wow. See, I
Always
won't-
wanted
no-
Hogan to lose. I always wanted Hogan
disrespect.
to lose.
No disrespect to Bret Hart, but when they were pushing like Bret Hart as the new face of I was like, I think I'm aged out of this now.
I mean, like my best memory is like, Hogan being like, splashed to death in the corner in a steel cage by King Kong Bundy. I loved every minute of that. I'm like, it's like my ribs.
Well,
you're a WrestleMania VHS guy, is what you're saying.
oh man, I will say I grew up renting the shit out of those fucking tapes. That's for sure.
WrestleMania 3 on VHS was like,
yeah,
the best.
Those tapes. Yeah, when a new WrestleMania hit Blockbuster, you go to that special interest section where they'd have like the workout tapes and the Leslie Nielsen golf videos and wrestling tapes. It was a fucking goddamn wonderful time. And
the special interest section was always like the weird section. Like he
I
would
have
find
a
like
fucking. That's the way I
faces of
organize.
death and like.
If you want
Yeah.
it labeled what it is, we don't know where the hell to put this.
This is where they
Yeah.
put the
Yeah, that's
making of
exactly
Michael
right,
Jackson's
yeah.
Thriller. And
Yep.
yeah, the Jane Fonda workout tapes and the
Right.
Leslie Nielsen golf videos. It was a fucking and the Bubba Smith workout tapes where he's telling the audience he
Five
loves them.
VHSs about
I love you.
Fucking Dorf goes fishing.
Yeah, this
Dwarf,
is who we
all the
are.
dwarf
My
stuff.
dwarf. You stay away from my dwarf. Oh, don't you go after my dwarf now. I
Oh, shit.
love dwarf.
This is right up there,
You would
right
find
next
it
to
in that section.
right next to
Oh.
McGee, filed right next to McGee and me in Ian's heart.
Yes.
Oh, was that
Ghost of
that,
Mr. Chicken
that
is up there
weird,
for me.
Christian
Yeah,
show?
Christian
Yeah.
church cartoon. It's like Better
Weird.
Off
It was
Dead.
amazing.
Yeah, it's.
I just
Tuesday-
remember like catching on to the all the Jesus-y vibes like a couple episodes in and be like, wait a minute.
You're tricking me with a religion. What are you
Yeah.
doing here?
Yeah, get out of here.
Give me a cute cartoon sidekick, just like Jesus would have.
Yeah.
So how
So
long
how
did
did-
it
how
take
did-
you
how
to
did
get
you-
to like
Better movie.
like when you're watching like Highway to Heaven?
I'll get
Oh,
tricked
fuck
for
that.
embarrassingly large amounts of time watching like Christian propaganda movies. I don't know why. For some reason, I don't catch on as quick as I should.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
I'll
Ian, what did you
I'll-
see
yeah,
with this
yeah.
movie?
I'll be honest with you. I think the first time I saw this, I was like 26.
Wow, so you really could appreciate the fine qualities. and
No,
subtle-
I didn't, and I'll
Right.
be honest. I rewatched it a little bit today, and I just kind of went, "Yeah, I still don't." I have my reasons. I'll bring them up when we discuss a little bit here, but like I just I don't get it. Like I just don't get it. I don't. Let me rephrase that. I get it. I get why this was a thing. I get why we Hulkamania'd this movie out there. But I still don't get. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand why.
The best the best part of this movie is its title.
But this is a movie that every friend
Yeah.
of mine always had. Like
Mm.
this, but we never watched it. But if you
Yeah.
look at your friend's VHS collection, there was always a copy of Suburban Commando. There was always a copy of Speed, and there was always like
So I have a theory
three-
right now. Two
three
theories
recorded-
actually.
3 recorded VHSs with like penciled on what the movies were. You know, the Netflix of that day.
I think this movie is why Blockbuster came up with the selling previewed tapes, right? I know they were probably doing it before, but I think like they were like, all right, it didn't hit in theaters. That's okay, but we got Hulk Hogan. His WrestleMania tapes always rent like big. We're gonna order a lot of tapes for Blockbuster, and it's gonna be a huge video hit. You'll see. And then crickets, God damn, what the fuck? All right, pre-sold tapes. We'll do anything to get these out of the store right now. We have
It's like
10,000 copies.
It's like a Shaq movie.
Yeah,
Yes. Oh,
exactly.
Wow. Now, honestly, that's the Suburban Commando 2. I know we're early for pitching.
It's Steel. It's Kazam. It's the
I
whole
have to
thing.
pitch. Yes, Suburban Commando 2 is him and Shaq in a buddy cop piece of shit new line. That's the movie the 90s deserve. Like, get the Reebok and the Pepsi and the Taco Bell like ads just shoved down our fucking throat like it's Mac and Me and McDonald's. Like, take my money. That's that. Come on, I can taste the 90s right now. The
I'll
Jinko
tell you the
jeans
thing
are.
I don't understand about it. Why does he have to be from outer space?
Because he's a commando.
You could be
Right.
you could be a commando in. He could have been a commando in the army. And he just has to take a break.
Having
That's
people
the
and
part that weirds me
characters
out.
from
There's no
outer
reason
space,
for
from
him to
other
be this-
planets, like interstellar characters coming to Earth or whatever, and I think only one of them, if I remember right, the main bad guy has some kind of alien-esque qualities, and everyone else is just like a big dude. and
Yeah,
it's
that's what I'm saying.
lazy. It's lazy.
You get the
as fuck.
Undertaker in there.
Yeah,
Mean Mark
it's-
Calloway, the Undertaker.
But he's just
bounty
yeah.
hunters.
Kindergarten Cop. He wasn't a space cop, and then came down to be a kindergarten teacher.
So this is a good point. Like Kindergarten Cop, that you could tell they are interested in the cop side of the movie. This
Yeah.
movie has no interest in the commando side, just
No.
the suburban side. They just want like Hulk Hogan on a skateboard.
Commando
Like,
doesn't even mean anything.
Parking in the
like,
street with Hulk Hogan. Yeah,
You're right. The juxtaposition of a grizzled cop having to deal with a kindergarten class is inherently an interesting bit at its core. You know,
Yeah.
the idea of fish out of water being like, well, space alien, right? That works.
Yeah,
forever.
you're right though. He could have
like,
been fish out of water enough. Like
the
he's
whole
just a
idea
giant.
is just,
yeah,
we just want to do fish out of water jokes, and it could be like foreign, be like, oh, I don't want to have to think about that. Just
You know
alien.
what?
They could do it better.
Until
It's
this
like
moment.
he already knows that Earthlings. He says it first thing.
Correct. Earthlings.
Earthlings. Like he already knows
I-
Earth. He's not. He's not
Until
fish
this
out of
moment.
water.
He's been here.
Until this very moment did I just stop to think, yeah, why did they call this Suburban Commando? Like
It's
it
nothing.
should have
It's
been like
nothing. Yeah, it's just
Space
two words that sound good
Commando
together.
or something like that, or
And it's
Well,
not
so-
even
Bounty Hunter.
suburbia.
It's
It's,
just-
like
it's a- yeah.
on the corner of Main Street in Modesto, California. Like it's not.
it was like
Chris
you
and I
know.
know suburban. This is not Suburban Commando.
You're no Jack fucking Kennedy. You
Yeah, that's
goddamn
right. I know
movie.
suburbia. You aren't Suburbia Commando.
I love how you bring out that fucking "You're no Jack Kennedy" reference like 100 times on this show. It's one of my favorite things. One of my favorite reasons we still do this show is the fact that I might hear it again. Yeah, you're right. This is totally like you don't even know suburbs. You don't know anything.
We should
about
make
this
we should
movie.
make now in the year of our Lord 2024. We should make Urban Commando and put Hulk Hogan back in it, and
Oh.
everyone would have to go see it just out of sheer curiosity. It would just
That
be
is
like,
worthy of
yeah.
a slow clap, sir.
yeah.
That's
Well,
perfect.
you could put that in space.
But I think,
Sure.
but Steve, you're right though. It wants to be fish out of water, but it's not even fish out of water. He knows everything that's going on. Like he should be questioning everything. He doesn't even question what a dog is.
Well, he did question how do you tell a cantaloupe is ripe?
It's
So-
yeah. It's also
That's
more
true.
like
Has that been a question even you as a human have ever wondered or what?
I love that. I love too. Like, I just want to be in the writers' room when they're pitching that scene. Like, it's an old lady, and then there's cantaloupes, right? Yeah, cantaloupes, fucking
This
classic.
happened
Everyone's gonna
2
remember this
days
moment. Like,
ago.
It is.
and he goes, "I found a good one." That's comedy, my friend.
The best part is the reaction of the lady when he squeezes the cantaloupe in her face.
It's so much funnier the way Mickey describes it. Honestly, I'd rather watch Mickey describing it than watch the scene. And
That shit's
you know,
funny. That's like the
You're-
Piccolo Poocola brothers in Big Top Pee Wee.
oh man, he didn't go Piccolo Poocola again.
You guys are right though, because the alien thing is completely irrelevant because
Throw me the apple.
really what it is that he's like this nerd family are lame. Like these people, these family that I'm staying with are lame. Like I'm a
Yeah, he could have just been like a city trucker or something. You know, what
he
I
could have
mean?
been
like
in a
tough
biker
city
gang.
man.
He could have been he could have been anything.
Well, he definitely knows about apartments because he's like apartment for rent, and he's
So he's
like,
been
I need
here.
an
He's
apartment.
been
I need
on
an
Earth
apartment.
a bunch. Yeah.
Oh
That's
my
not
god! All right.
explained.
I think they did the script injustice.
Backwards. They did it backwards.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it really. This could have been a
No,
very.
he's already been here. Just write the shit like he's been here.
Well, it's like it's like what they're doing is Alf, but with
Hulk
Hulk
Hogan.
Hogan as Alf. I mean, even Alf.
That just sounds like the worst idea I've ever
But
heard.
it's
But
what it is,
true,
Chris.
It's true. It's
Yeah,
so
but, like,
true. You're so right. You're exactly
This is
right.
Alf with Hulk Hogan. Like,
But if Alf was annoyed and bullied the family he was living with all the time
Hey, Charlie.
for being nerds.
yes, like it's just. At least Alf ate the cat for God's sakes. Like this.
All right, so I have to say this.
This
one
is
more
Captain
pitch.
Ron. Did we do it? I'm sorry, but isn't this Captain Ron?
That is an insult to
Basically.
Captain Ron.
No, I'm just saying like plot wise or whatever, like family kind of on the roughs, falling apart. or
Although
whatever,
technically this
comes
is
across a
1 year.
weird, gruff outside alien of a guy who brings them all together, and they all learn how to love each other again through his.
The family's not out of the family's okay.
Yeah.
They're not, there's no problem with the family.
She's
First
trying
of
to
all-
talk him into getting a promotion at work. I remember that or whatever. Like,
No, this is a year. This is
Yeah,
actually
she's supportive.
This is 1 year before Captain Ron. Technically, this is the year of pure luck, the year of our Lord.
so Captain
and-
Ron is Suburban Commando.
If you want to look at it that way,
I mean, that's what you said.
I think. Well, I mean, if Captain Ron starred Travolta, then it would be Suburban Cowboy, and wouldn't that be fun? I just had to say that before I
that
forgot.
would be great. That'd be great.
I guess I should I'll get to the chat, and then I'll get to how I discovered this fantastic cinema verite gem of a film. Let's see who's in the chat. We got Angie Saunders, the mashup genius, Whiskey 41, the great Alex Bonafonte, Caitlin Altman, America's Next Top Model, and Jeremy Ledford. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Whiskey 41 says, Citizens of Earth, this movie sucks.
We
Well
don't
stated,
disagree.
sir. He also says Hulk Hogan performed better when he co-starred with Bubba the Love Sponge's wife. Yes, of course, folks. For those of you who don't know, even Hulk Hogan's sex tape is racist. So that's how fucking great of a piece of shit he is. Angie Saunders says, I never saw this. Well, Angie, you're not missing out. Normally, I would recommend you immediately watch the movie and come back and rewatch this episode of VCR, but I don't know if that's going to be necessary. Yeah, it is free. Yeah, it's free on Tubi.
You could skip the
but,
movie and take our cliff notes.
Yeah, I think I gotta say this is so
watch
far.
the trailer, watch our show, don't watch the movie.
Yeah, there you go. Watch the trailer. No one gets
Although
fucking
here's-
paid for that shit.
I will tell you this though, I love this director. You know, the three things I will give this movie. One is Shelley Duvall, who
Right, of course.
I've never been a fan of. I like. I mean, I know,
Fucking communist.
no, I know people have her Shelley Duvall's. I just never kind of got into her acting style and her.
She didn't do a whole lot considering how
you know, and
big of a name she is.
I love that the world is now recognizing that what she went through in The Shining was kind of bullshit. I mean, I do appreciate that stuff, but
How many fucking live forever classics do you have to do to say you've done enough?
well,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
there's not a lot of
saying blasting.
opportunities.
I'm not saying she's terrible. It's just I myself have never gotten into that style. But Jack Elam, the Colonel next door, one of the
Okay,
great
yeah.
Western actors of all time. You know, you got to get and the connection is the director. Burt Kennedy is one of those famous cowboy directors from the 50s and 60s. Did a lot of John Wayne's, did a lot of, you know, made for TV Westerns and stuff like that. So I do think though that this is kind of out of Burt Kennedy's realm of expertise per se, and I think maybe that's why there's some hit and misses here and there. If it was, you know, Cowboy Commando, which I don't know why that would be a thing, I think maybe it would have been more interesting, but I just love the fact that Burt Kennedy does get recognized in this world for something, you know, because he is kind of one of those
Suburban
forgotten-
Commando.
Yeah, well, but I'm just saying, like, it lives on. Obviously, it lives on.
That's the interesting thing. That's the
Your
interesting
heart,
thing.
yes.
No. Here's the interesting thing, right? No, now, as much as I shit on this movie, it did put a dent in pop culture.
It did.
Everyone saw it somehow.
Yeah.
It didn't
Well-
make money. Maybe it, you know, it wasn't a huge runaway success. It was a flop or a bomb. It had the stink, the odor of stank on it. But it's like everyone was conscious of this film. Everyone
This
knows
is
of
a
it.
movie everybody
Everyone,
rented.
no one, yeah.
Chris. This is a
Yeah.
movie everybody rented in 1992.
Well,
Yes,
I mean,
they
It was
rented it
the
once.
Friday night, family got pizza. You rented Suburban Commando. You all looked at each other and went, "That was stupid," and you took it back to the video store. So that's why, like I said, sometimes it probably wasn't people's. I just remember every friend I knew watched it.
yeah.
Everybody knew Suburban Commando. It's just, you know,
It's
just wasn't around.
weird to me that a Hulk Hogan vehicle would pull in a fairly eclectic, you know, supporting cast of actors that are very beloved in their own rights and don't do a lot of bullshit like this. Like even you don't really see Christopher Lloyd like popping up in a lot of garbage. It's not his.
Well,
thing.
this was sadly, this movie was a bit of a foreshadowing of things to come. You'd be like, hey, this decade's going to be a lot less Back to the Future and a lot more like Angels in the Outfield and My Favorite Martian.
Right.
Kiddies.
Yeah, there were
Strap yourselves in.
Yeah, that's true. We did go through that. Yeah. But either
a lot less Clue and Back to the Future going down.
Still, like
around.
Shelley Duvall and him alone. Like I think that probably
it's power cast.
It's surprising that they would want to revolve around like a Hulk Hogan led.
Well,
idea.
I mean, if you think about it, this movie is it's also part of one of I think there's a phase. There are certain phases.
This was going to make a lot of money.
Here's the thing. There are phases in Hollywood that define the times, right? In the 80s, you had the Cannon phase, the Chuck and Chuck, the Chuck and Charles, the Ninja phase, whatever. In the early 90s, you had the like New Line's becoming a real studio phase of movies, right? They did fucking Ninja Turtles. They did Step Kids, which later became Big Girls Don't Cry, They Get Even. They did Suburban Commando. They did a lot of fucking things that like other studios wouldn't really do. Even like the, Orions, the other smaller studios wouldn't do. And there were some fucking big hits and there were some big misses. And eventually you get to them doing Lord of the Rings. But along the way, you get some really unique movies that I know would not have been made at like Paramount or Universal or Warner's or Fox. And
yeah, New Line took like Nightmare on Elm Street to the limit, right?
Well, that was the 80s, but like they were just that they were only the house that Freddie built. It wasn't until Ninja Turtles that they were like, all right, now let's try some new shit. And they reached out in a bunch of different directions. Some of them hit, some of them missed, and occasionally you got like The Mask or fucking Dumb and Dumber or some of these mega Jim Carrey movies and but I love that time. Like to me, I see that New Line Cinema logo and I think of like a fun era of movies, like the first half of the 90s.
An old
Mortal
80s
Kombat as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. An old 80s, like early 90s trope of Hollywood trope or whatever was that they hadn't yet figured out that just because someone is bankable on some level of entertainment does not mean that it translates. Does not mean that we can bring in
Hulk Hogan, he got a few swings at it. The Hulk Bard, Suburban Commando, and then it was like, all right, get the fuck out of here.
Every Jennifer Lopez movie is the romantic comedy is not going to be Oscar worthy. It's not.
Oh, don't you talk bad about my J-Lo movies?
No, she's one.
Well, I've said this before. I mean, I look at eras and kind of what was popular in that time, and to me, the 90s, especially 90 to 95. That is the era of the family film.
Oh,
I mean,
totally.
I mean, really, that Suburban Commando, Captain Ron, Sandlot,
Rookie of the Year, Home Alone,
all that
Rookie of the Year, Home Alone,
Mighty Ducks, right?
It was, and
the Three Musketeers. You're right. Yeah, there was so many
was
fucking.
Home Alone. I mean, I think Home Alone set that up. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, we can make money off these families.
Mr. Nanny.
Blank Check, Homeward Bound. Yeah, Mr. fucking Nanny. They kept on trying with Hulk Hogan. Jesus fucking Christ.
I said that earlier. Yes, they kept trying.
What, Three Ninjas?
Like they wouldn't give up on the Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, well, those were great, but I mean, he wasn't in until like the third or fourth one.
Shaq as well. I mean, like they saw.
Yeah, Shaq got a million.
And they're like, give him another shot. He makes so much money in this one level. Why can't we translate?
He's Shaq Fu. He had a whole album.
Yeah, right. Oh, music too. They would get guys and they would be like,
video games.
You should write a record, Shaquille O'Neal. Why don't you put out an album? It's like, wow,
this
fucking,
is and first of all, that's how we get to like, okay, Danny McBride, you can write Halloween movies now.
Exactly.
And I hate it.
And it's fucking slippery. And we're still dealing with it today.
By the way,
Michael Jordan only did one fucking movie and it was great.
Is Hulk Hogan in the rap song of the title of this movie?
Is he like rapping in it? Or is he
rapping?
God.
I swear, if you listen, go back and listen to the title track, and it's one of those 90s thing where they got the actor to do something as part of it. He's not singing it, but he says stuff in the beginning, I'm telling you.
It's probably some cut up ADR of him just being like, Hulkamania, that kind of shit. Like fucking looped.
So we are at pitch time, but I do want to finish up the chat before because there's not that much in it. I'll get to my first story very quickly. and then we'll start pitching. But Whiskey Forward says, I watched this on cable when I was 11 or 12. I want my time back, damn it. This film was trash, even in the pre-internet era. He also says there could never be a tough guy better than Blaine, than Jesse. Tough guy named there could never be a tough guy named Blaine other than Jesse Ventura and Predator. Blaine, yeah.
That's a major appliance. It's not
Also says Suburban Commando seemed to kick off a string of straight-to-cable turds for Christopher Lloyd. For those of you who don't know why workout tapes were popular, see back before the internet. Gold's Code says, let's give it for the real star of the episode, Zangief's microphone. So I hope that means the audio is good and not bad, but it sounds good on my end. So appreciate the commentary.
Big and
let me know in the chat if I'm
if Steve doesn't sound right, folks, let us know. Also some love for Shelley Duvall. Rip Shelley Duvall in the chat. And Colts Girl says, whenever I used to see Hulk Hogan out, this never came to mind ever. I guess that's, well, you were down in Florida, so that is the land of Hogan mania.
She was good in Popeye.
Fucking A, right? She was good in Popeye.
She was good in
I
Popeye.
hated that movie.
But she was fantastic in it. You could not do Olive Oil better than that, ever.
I've never seen that movie. Is it worth watching? Should I watch it? Is it worth?
No, it's fast.
No, don't watch it. Don't watch
we should do a VCR. We'll do it on VCR just to make Mickey watch. No, I'm joking. So there are pitches.
Tragic.
There are pitches.
Traumatic.
Traumatic.
Just to recap, we have pitched Suburban Cowboy. We've pitched a buddy cop sequel with Shaq already. I just want to let folks know there is one in the chat as well. Gold's Code has a pitch. His pitch is the Commando comes to Ohio and gets embroiled in a real war between Mitchell and the Preps. Now he must make a choice to save not only the city but the planet. It's command-born. I like that.
And he skateboards.
If it's an airborne world, just let the world blow up.
That's what this entire show is about.
Just the dumbest movie. I was gonna say, honestly, truthfully, my only real fix for this, I mean, it does have to be Hulk Hogan. It could be freaking The Rock. It could be whoever. I mean, it worked. It's just, it could be Arnold. This could have been an Arnold movie. Just don't make it.
Arnold would never have done this around the time.
He would have if it wasn't
T2. No,
T2. He would never do Suburban Game.
Yeah, come on.
He did Junior. Are you kidding me?
That's after Last Action Hero. After Last Action Hero, he would have done Party at Kitty and Studs.
I think it's depending on what studio was making it and what director was behind it.
It just doesn't make sense. They don't make it a thing enough for it to be. Or if you're gonna remake, like let's say you remake Suburban Commando, we do what we talked about earlier. You make it a real alien fish out of water story.
Right,
I mean, like I'm talking about a bidet scene. I would love to see a alien barbarian have to deal with a bidet.
Oh, totally. I want to see him lapping water out of it like a golden retriever.
That's what I'm talking about. Like that fish out of water. If you're gonna go,
was I the only one that thought that, like, literally
I didn't know where you were. You stuck the landing.
The only alien in the movie ended up looking like a predator.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's weird too. Like, this movie is it's completely bankrupt of any actual. You know, if you're gonna remake this movie, hire someone to write it first, and then go from there. And get somebody like
no script. They just showed up and
just give me James Cameron.
Give me a bunch of things that would work in a preview for this movie. They gave him.
That's kind of interesting though. What would the James Cameron sequel be? That this time it's war. Like
a better Suburban Commando. A better Suburban Commando is basically I Come in Peace.
Oh snap! You just busted out Dolph Lundgren. You just bust out a Dolph Lundgren VHS. You
nicely done.
Honestly, Dolph Lundgren starring in Suburban Commando immediately would have made it a lot better.
So also today's standards, if you put a John Cena or you put a who's some of the other wrestlers that have come out and been like a fantastic actor, you know, like really good comedic presence.
The Rock. I mean, the Rock.
Yeah.
Here's my
even so, Dave Bautista. Either of those guys would make this infinitely funnier. You know, barely.
Did you say John Cena?
Yeah, John Cena, Dave Bautista.
John Cena in this would be interesting. I think it would actually be, you know, of you could literally do any version of Suburban Commando with any real kind of. I to me, the key is you have to have a name actor.
I think the wrestling thing is actually probably the hook for this as best you're gonna get, because like,
well, in my mind, then again, who was the next wrestler on deck at the time? And it was Ultimate Warrior. And that's, I think, if you did this movie with Ultimate Warrior, it would have been a fucking train wreck, but it would have been a fantastic train wreck.
it would have never finished. That was
I would have made it.
He was insane. Yeah,
it was the Undertaker.
Well, he was in this movie.
He was.
And
the guy I wanted to shout out is
right.
actually the guy I wanted to shout out is his partner Tony Longo, who was in a slew of movies, you know, in the 80s and 90s. He often would wind up playing like these heavy-set mob characters, but in the 80s he was like jacked. And this is, I feel like, the last movie where you see remnants of like jacked Tony Longo before he became like the fat mobster guy in like House Guest and everything else. Like, well, I don't know, Paulie, I was watching the wrong car. Like, you know, he's kind of always that guy. It's not my fault, Paulie. I was hungry, you know. Like,
yeah.
Stop and get some of the snack, you know.
Like, hear me out. Wouldn't it be interesting? Like, could this be a Kevin Hart movie?
What?
I mean, put the wrestling.
Go the opposite way with it. Go Pauly Shore. Go get
Pauly. Well, that's what I'm saying. You go
but,
Pauly Shore. Could this be an Adam Sandler movie?
I'll tell you what.
This would be a weird voice Adam Sandler movie. It'd be one of his like.
It'd be a lot of
no, then I'm out.
Yeah.
Then I'm out. No. If he talks like this, then it's gonna be.
But that's the only way Suburban Commando works as an Adam Sandler movie is if it's.
Well, then I'm out.
If he's hibbity dibbiting through any of that, then it's over before it starts. The problem with that is then you lose the half of it that's Commando, and that's half the movie because all this is a title. You know, so
it's not. No, here's the thing. I would like to say that all this is a title, but it doesn't even live up to the title. All this is a post. Like, I feel like the poster is like mid, and it's like one of the best things about this movie. If that makes any sense.
You are obsessed with it, Chris. You are obsessed with the poster being the best part of some movies.
This is the
cover. It totally fucking is. Oh my god, you can't tell me that the poster of Porky's is not the best part of Porky's, because it fucking is. We have all seen Porky's.
Porky's is the best part of Porky's, but
am I thinking of this right? It's him in his space gear, which is just like a metallic version of. Okay. Oh yeah,
got it.
No, not that poster. That's the fucking alternate.
No.
That's
the
the
one
weird
I'm thinking
one.
of, he's got the family behind him, and he's holding the kid by the leg, right?
Yeah.
No, kind of, sort of.
That's the one, right?
He has him like
holding the kid
he's not really.
down.
No, I don't think he's holding the kid upside down.
Nanny. That's Mr. Nanny.
That's Mr. Nanny.
That is Mr. Nanny.
And it's also fucking Parenthood. There's a lot of movies where the kids, you know, and Problem Child is holding the kids holding the parents upside down. It became a shtick on posters. That was
speaking of fucking House Guests. Like, how many movies were they just like take a guy and make him live with this family?
Can we do House Guests already, people?
The Pacifier is an awesome movie with Vin Diesel.
Fuck!
Vin Diesel would be interesting in this.
No, stop the presses. Stop the presses. We just figured it out. We're blind. It's sitting right in our faces. Sinbad Commando. It's fucking fantastic. It's a win.
Sinbad is Suburban Commando?
Hell yes.
I'm in. I am in.
Yeah, why not?
I'm down for that.
10%.
And
well, first off, he's an actor, so that helps right out
I'll
of the
even
gate.
sweeten the deal.
God.
Sweeten
the deal right now.
Suburbia's in the hood.
The villain.
Urban Commando.
The villain. There it is again, Urban Commando. Now that's when you put Hogan in the hood, and the hood does what that should do to Hogan. He doesn't have his T9.
And Booker T will be the first one in line, putting boot to ass.
And then Mr. T, his father, Mr. T, will be right behind him.
Oh yeah,
that's right. And then you know, their cousin Ice T is going to be there as well. It's going to be
his father, Mr.
Maybe you think
T.
of it like, who would be a good actual fish out of water?
All right.
Like presence, like who would actually act that well?
You know, I love doing this alternate universe version of this in 1992. Sylvester Stallone as Suburban Commando.
No. That's too Stopper My Mom Will Shoot. It's not shitty enough.
But if his comedies worked, if Oscar worked, if
he is a fucking alien.
Throwing out Oscar.
I love Oscar. That's a good movie, and everybody just gave it. everybody farted on that movie just because it wasn't what they thought it was supposed to be. Well, it's a good movie. It's a fart.
You sack of snaps, provolone, you.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, his
no,
comedic
I
record
think
speaks for itself. Yeah.
I think if you want the early '90s New Line, I think there's another one that they did, but I'll get to that in a sec. Vanilla Ice, right? Because it's like Cool as Ice, Suburban Commando. Like that totally could have fucking happened.
Another guy
Like
that can't
MC
act and has no business being in movies. Absolutely, yeah. Fuck
That's
yeah.
fucking
Let's
A
get,
right.
Yeah. But how many? I mean, did you guys like when Channing Tatum first came out? Didn't you think he was gonna go the way of Vanilla Ice? Like basically, like, oh, this is the Step Up kid is not gonna do anything other than step up.
The first thing I saw him in was the Magic Mike movies, I think. And like,
All right, Detour. Spoiler alert. If those of you haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine yet,
I haven't seen it.
Don't
I haven't seen
spoil
it. No.
All right,
say it.
Jesus
Don't
Christ.
spoil it. Don't be that
All
guy.
right.
Don't say it.
All right, Jesus Christ, though, because it's fucking weeks old now. And
and
I
everybody
want
knows
to shit on things. I want to shit on things as I have a right to do. God damn it!
But
But there's
Grandma's
pitches in the
Suburban
chat,
Commando.
so there's pitches in the chat, so maybe Ian will shit on those. Whiskey 4-1 with the pitch. A mutiny aboard an alien craft leaves the High Commander banished to Earth, where he snatches the body of a lanky yoga instructor and lies his way to Hollywood slap fight fame. Steven Seagal is Suburban Con Man.
right. So now over the top, right? Stallone's like weirdest fucking, big whatever movie. Now it made sense for him turning his hat around, doing the arm wrestling, whatever. The only thing that would make sense for Steven Seagal to be able to have left to do that I would buy into is that stupid competitive slap fighting thing. Now, right? Like you see that, whatever. Like that's right.
Oh, so now we're just pitching Seagal's version of Over the Top.
Yeah, but it's just that slap fighting deal.
Slap fighting
that's gotten
movie.
so popular.
Son, what are you gonna do with your life with that slap fighting? Mom, I'm gonna take it all the way. I'm gonna take it all the way.
You could do worse.
The most wooden performance of his
I'm
career,
gonna do
shot
what
only
you
from
want
the
me to do,
shoulders up.
Mom. I'm gonna turn the other cheek. That's the trailer line right there, baby.
Yes, turn the other cheek.
So who else is like ridiculously 90s that, I would have actually liked a Jesse Ventura version of Suburban Commando. I think it honestly would have been better than this what we got with Hulk Hogan.
Macho Man would have been great as Suburban Commando. Macho Man would have been great.
I don't know his name, but you're gonna know his name maybe.
Okay.
He's cousin Kyle from Step by Step and the greatest action.
Oh,
movie.
Sasha Mitchell.
Cousin Cody?
Yes.
Cody.
I know what he meant.
Yeah.
Cousin Cody. Yeah, Sasha Mitchell from Kickboxer 3. Kickboxer 3, The Art of War.
Kyle.
Whatever. The point is.
Kickboxer 2, 3, and 4. I knew what he meant.
That guy,
Sasha Mitchell.
This is the vehicle that made him a star.
Oh. So he's like, but he's the Suburban Commando from space, from California space. Like,
yeah,
so
but he's got, but he's got.
Nah, dude, this is big war with the Tragadocians,
So in this
I was
universe,
getting confused
taking out
with
Hulk
Simon
Hogan,
Rex too.
Taking out Hulk Hogan and adding Cody from Step by Step somehow made this a theater hit.
I don't know if it made it a theater hit, but it sure played. People
Direct to
really
Netflix.
liked the movie.
It's a
They bought
Netflix
the movie.
original.
Yeah, sure.
I'm fucking down though. No, but you know what? Like, what other '90s ridiculous people like Jesse Camp stars in this?
Stop it with this. Stop it with this.
I try to think, how much worse could we make it? Can we really
could we
break the universe with something
I
so
think-
bad?
I think this being in the Pauly Shore library
Yeah,
would
makes
be
sense. Yeah.
like
Be good, yeah.
Pauly
It'd be
Shore
fun.
is Suburban Command, or
Oh,
instead of Hulk Hogan, let's do sweet Robbie Schneider.
Ooh,
oh, there you go. That's a
bad,
sack
yeah.
of shit right there. That's
Andy
a big
Dick,
fucking
maybe?
That's another sack of shit.
I like
no,
sweet
I got
Robbie
it.
Schneider. Don't you
Yeah.
dare insult my Robbie Schneider.
I
You
got it.
love Deuce Bigelow. We all love Deuce Bigelow. You
I
even
don't.
like the hot chick. If you're sitting
I
there
don't.
out there and telling me you didn't like it and laugh at that movie, you're a dirty liar,
I
people.
like the one where he's an animal.
I don't.
What was that called
I've
again?
never even watched it.
The
Bass
animal.
player.
Thank you. So what about those Wayans brothers and they're just playing one character as the two of them, which is
God
always
damn.
so
Marlon Wayne's in this.
Yeah.
wonderful.
Or give it to the
Damon
Zucker
Wayne-
brothers
Damon.
and let Charlie Sheen do it. That would have been amazing.
Damon
Same
Wayne.
cocaine bill as the Ultimate Warrior.
This
Now you're
could've
talking
been
about now you're
Damon
talking about good people. Yeah.
But like Damon Wayans as
Oh, wait a minute. Are we shitting on the Waynes? I have no part
no,
of
no,
that.
no, no,
Listen,
no.
no. If you take the Wayans brothers
what
you
if
put
you
them in a
had
movie-
Damon Wayans? This was like
Yeah, I get it. You might get white chicks. Okay, I
Yeah,
get it.
But this is Damon Wayans like next hit after Major Payne. Like
Oh, Damon. Yeah, he would have been good for sure.
In
Now, in
fact-
the realm of weird,
this could
What
be
about-
a great sequel to Major Payne. Major Payne has to go to the house. It's like instead of Suburban Commando, it's Major it's Commando Payne or
So,
something.
but what is the
Or
threat if it's not
Suburban-
other aliens
Suburban Payne?
coming to the
Suburban Payne. That's what we need.
Suburban
He retired. He retired from the army. He has to then go into hiding for a little bit.
no,
And so-
he works for the UN, and it's the International House of Pain.
Yes, House of
Badums.
Pain. There it is.
I just had to make a stupid pun.
Mm.
What were you gonna say, Steve?
You guys are like reassuring just how little of an actual plot this movie must have. If we could, just
It
take
doesn't have a
anyone-
plot at all.
There's no fucking plot, Steve.
Why
It
did
is
the
like-
aliens cut? So I didn't get to rewatch this because that was a last minute invite to replace a previously requested
Right.
guest. So, what up?
Oh, interesting side disclaimer. The reason that episode is called Hulk Smashed is because our friend Angel was going to come on, and Angel, if you watch our No Holds Barred episode, pitched the most incredible like hour of Hulk Hogan getting raped in prison plot lines. That was amazing, and I wanted her to do that with this movie, but she's not here to do it. So instead, we're just trashing the movie, which is fun. But so that's you're not it's like we don't want you here, Steve. We love having you
Wouldn't
here.
this
and
movie
has
have
actually
been
a really
more
fun one.
entertaining
pitch
if
rape
Dusty
movie.
Rhodes was Suburban Commando?
Dusty, can I get the other wrestler thing again? I was thinking Joe Pesci is Suburban Commando. Like, how fucking funny would that have been? Like the super, like there's that My Cousin Vinny era where like they're trying everything with Joe Pesci now. Like,
That's true.
you know,
Damon Wayans really actually piqued me because we've seen him play a fucking weird ass dude and a weird ass alien as well. And like that's what you want. I want a version of this where it's like a John Cena meets Alan Tudyk. You know what I mean? Like somebody who I can just watch on screen be infinitely interesting as an alien who doesn't understand this planet and not one who's been here a bunch of times for whatever fucking reason.
I got it. I want a on the verge of bankruptcy, cocaine addicted Mickey Rourke to star in this. And he have no interest. This will be his Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man, like it would be incredible. In fucking incredible. I mean, if we've not taken it to the 90s hoop yet, I think we just
I got it.
Comedically.
I got it.
Yep. What is it? Solve it.
Snoop Dogg.
Again, someone who doesn't act in movies. But yeah.
I think I would rather Shaq.
Oh, Ernest. Honestly, Ernest. This is the Ernest Goes to Space thing. Somehow
Jim
Jim Varney plays
He's a
this
fucking
guy.
alien,
It's great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Jim Varney could be the dad and he could be the commando.
And he could be the kid and the dog.
And the villain. This is Jim Varney's Austin Powers, and we didn't know it.
This villain. It's the villain.
And the wife is like, "Whoa,
Dr. Doom.
in my day,
It's just Shelley Duvall. Shelley Duvall acting around Jim Varney for fucking 2 hours.
That would be great. That's the movie that we don't have in this universe. We just filled a void out there in the universe. There is the Nutty Professor version of Jim Varney where he plays all the family.
Yep.
And
there's
that
a
is a
universe out there where Jim Varney got his fucking due. And
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
That
And like
is hilarious.
and there's an Oscar, footage somewhere of him and Bruce Campbell sitting right where fucking Brad Pitt and fucking Edward Norton would be in our universe. And I love that idea.
It's the grandma with the neck brace. Yeah, you can get in here every time you want.
So now let's go to like the extreme other end of the spectrum. What if Anthony Hopkins played Suburban Commando? Like, you just somehow got
Daniel
Anthony Hopkins
Day-Lewis played.
to do the biggest piece of shit ever. Who else is there on that mantle? Like, of course, Daniel Day-Lewis. You know, I
Tom
always
Hanks.
say,
For Fandom.
oh yeah,
Wait, who?
Oh, he was in the Burbs.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. I was gonna go with
You know?
I was gonna go with something that's Fandom. That could be it because I don't think he has always gotten his just dues either. But Bruce Campbell
Oh yeah.
could
Oh
have
fuck
pulled
yeah.
this off.
Oh,
This
fuck
could have been
yeah.
a Bruce Campbell.
Everything. Yes. Oh
he
man,
could,
that
he
should
could
have
have
been.
he could have brought this to a point where I would go back and rewatch it.
And he could have done the fish
Hell
out
yeah.
of water comedy thing, but still played the action star by doing that Bruce Campbell. Just he's such a dork about it that it works, approach.
It's so funny how much of the 90s just didn't know what to do with Bruce Campbell. It's so strange and insane to me. But
Probably
Yeah.
got pigeonholed. I mean, Army of Darkness, Evil Dead, all that
When you
stuff.
do something so well and so memorable,
they
know,
hate
like,
you for it.
They fucking
And
that's
they
all they
really
want
cross
from
you
me.
off of the fucking list.
There's no doubt in my mind he could have done anything they fucking asked him to. He's one of those.
Okay, but
charismatic
let's
actors.
but also before we're done, is Hulk Hogan that bad though in this?
No, it's one note. Like if you
It
want
is
Hulk
one note,
Hogan
yeah,
to come
okay.
in and just be like, oh, and just be like,
At the end of the day,
Well, I mean,
He
did get hired for a reason. And
Right,
it wasn't
exactly.
because of his range.
at the end of the day, as an actor for this era of movies, especially this genre, the family side, he's passable. I hate to say it, but he's passable. It's not.
sure.
It's
Yeah,
not.
for
It's not.
for
Yeah.
kiddie comedies, why not?
For kiddie comedies,
he's
yeah.
not.
What the
he's-
fuck, yeah.
But who's not passable? Like who can you think of? In a
Right,
movie
yeah, that's
where
the
you're
thing.
like-
It doesn't take, it doesn't take fucking,
Snoop Dogg.
Christoph Waltz to be able to do that shit.
I
Doesn't
mean, he
take
was in
Daniel
that
Day-Lewis.
that remake of fucking what was it with Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson?
Zoolander?
No. It was Two Cops
Heartbreak
remake.
Kid?
Oh, Starsky and Hutch.
Starsky
Oh,
and Hutch. He
Starsky
played
and Hutch.
Huggy Bear or whatever. And
Yeah.
he passed that off better than Hulk Hogan does in this.
No,
Who we talking
No.
about? Who played Huggy Bear?
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop
Oh,
Dogg.
okay. That went over my head for a second. I was a little lost.
He was great.
Um, Is it great in what?
Training Day.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
if you make something for somebody, like take Mark Wahlberg, right? Like fucking Boogie Nights is incredible and he's amazing in it. And then go watch Planet of the Apes and fucking or The Happening and tell
There
me
you go,
what and tell me how much you enjoy him. Like
Yeah.
then it's if you make a role that works for him, it's awesome. If not, you get the whatever newest Transformers movie where he's somehow making it worse. Like it's. Yeah, I don't know if it's his fault or just casting or whatever it is, but Hulk Hogan works well in these.
The script is pretty
things.
bad.
Yeah.
I will say another one I would have liked to have seen, Curtis Armstrong as Suburban Commando. Booger. I think like coming off of Nerds.
What is your basis of this cast of these casting choices? They're just people
Just,
you remember from the.
He's
time
looking
frame.
at his shelf over there.
Right?
No, I'm just like, okay, well, I'm gonna be at New Jersey HorrorCon this weekend, and there's gonna be a full-fledged Revenge of the Nerds reunion, so maybe that's on the brain a little bit. But I also just love Curtis Armstrong, and the man has a gap between Nerds 4 and Ray, where I didn't see him for 10 years.
Wait. You said it, and it inspired me, Chris. Bless your
Here we
heart.
go.
Donald Gibb. Donald Gibb never.
Oh
Ogre
yes.
never got
Oh
his
my God,
movie.
it's so much more obvious.
Ogre
Yes.
never got his movie, and
That's
this
true.
is what it should have been.
It's true. It's true.
Donald Gibb. It should have been Suburban Commando.
Yeah, Sub Ogre Commando.
He
I
could
love
have
it.
secretly been, like a real, genuine actor. We have no idea. I've never seen him do
I
anything
love
else but that.
Also, in the interest of Captain Ron, now that I think about it, Kurt Russell could have done this. You do Snake Plissken-ish, which is
He
kind of
could
what
do-
Captain Ron was too.
He could do anything and make it better.
Kurt Russell,
No.
yeah, it's true. He could do anything. But I want a Russell and Carpenter version of this. What would it be? Big Trouble in Little Commando or something? Who knows?
That'd be fucking weird. And this
It'd be
movie
weird
should
as
have been
fuck.
way
Yeah,
weirder.
it'd be way weirder
It
and
would
way
be
more
They
interesting.
Live too with
Yeah.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, it would have
50-minute
Rowdy.
street fight.
If you're gonna have
Hey.
an alien off like fish out of whatever, an alien based movie coming to Earth and nobody's supposed to know what, like it's got to get weird, and this movie doesn't get any weirder
All
than him getting frozen for whatever reason. I
Yeah.
can't even remember why.
Oh, that's one of the trailer lines of the 90s that I was frozen today. I think of it's like Mel Gibson being like, "Give me back my son!" Like it was
Oh,
just
yeah.
such a trailer line, like that was written to be in the trailer. Like I swear to God. But yeah, honestly,
Back my son.
He's back,
come
my
on,
son.
you know you're thinking of fucking ransom whenever
Oh my
I want my
God,
baby
I
back,
haven't thought
baby
of
back,
that
baby
one
back, baby. I want my
forever.
baby back, baby back, baby back. Chili's, baby
Oh,
back,
God.
baby.
All right, well, I think we've pitched this one back into the stratosphere.
We just named actors for 45 minutes. That's all we did.
No, you know what? They're all
Which is
they're
still
all-
better than Suburban Commando.
Commando,
It
true,
still
better
is.
movie.
It's an improvement. Honestly, I think we had more fun, and the audience, hopefully at home, did as well. All three of them. So I guess it's time for me to ask if anyone has anything coming up in the works they want to let the home audience know about. Any articles, live appearances, videos, anything of the like.
Stay tuned later this week for a B movie article on the classic, not so classic 1960s film, The Slime People. But you can also follow more on some of my writing and some of these articles if you follow me on Instagram at Ian Klink on Instagram. So go ahead and follow that.
I'm gonna do that.
Well, and as well, you Fandom fans might want to tune in next Wednesday at 9 p.m. when we discuss the merits of Coughlin's Law for our cocktail episode. As always,
man, we're doing cocktail.
You goddamn fucking right we are doing cocktail.
Cocktail. Jeez.
Coughlin's Law, Sonny Jim. As always, if you enjoyed this video, the best way to help is to smash that. You're doing risky business, by the way.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck.
You're
Nobody
just
nobody
doing
else
risky
caught that.
business.
I almost got away with that.
You almost got away with it, but I couldn't
You
let it
just had
slide.
to fucking say something.
Well, folks, if you enjoyed this video, the best way to help is to smash that like button and leave a comment telling us what movie or TV franchise that you want us to cover on a future episode of VCR Redux.
Cocktail.
There's no cocktail riff. Don't even try and fix it now. There's no arrangement of notes.
Kokomo or
This isn't
go
Masters
home,
of,
Steve.
this isn't Masters of the Universe. You're not gonna be the song maker today.
Wasn't Highway to the Danger Zone?
No.
No? Oh no.
It's fucking Top Cut. And since you're already doing that, you might as well go ahead, like, subscribe, and follow Crash Romeo, Fandom Spotlight, and Pop Culture Punk. Till then, back up those Betamax, rewind those Laserdiscs, and we'll see you at the movies.
Yeah.